My husband and I got Ziggy and Mo when Dave's mother moved into a retirement building. The two giant Maine Coon cats were originally hers, already adults when she adopted them. Her new place wasn't big enough for the two cats, and Dave and I were living in our old house getting it ready to sell. So we decided to keep them as our own. We would have moved around 8 times in Maine with these two cats, and eventually we moved 3,600 miles in a Toyota Camry from one corner of the country to the other, ending in San Diego. Everywhere we went, they would comment on the cat's size, especially Mo. In his prime, he was over 25 pounds. We lived in San Diego for only a few months before we had decided to adopt a new kitten. Both of the boys were around 13 at the time, and we knew eventually one would be left alone. We thought a kitten would be less threatening, and they would adjust to him faster. Loki was the best addition to the family. The two boys loved him from day one. When we first brought him home, all 3 boys sat there in the living room staring at each other. Mo would show him his basket of toys and become Loki's big brother. The 2 older boys loved the new baby. Ziggy would carry him around. Mo would play with him, bathe him, and taught him manners. Unfortunately, just a couple years later, Mo would have a very quick decline. Maine Coons are prone to heart murmurs. Ziggy has one as well. However, Mo's heart failure was sudden, and the loss of Mo was difficult on all of us. We picked up Mo's ashes a few weeks later, and that's when we noticed some strange occurrences, and at this point, we are still convinced he is with us. It started one day when I was sitting at my desk working on the computer. Mo had a tendency to seek attention by pawing at my leg. As I was on the computer, I had felt the sensation and wiped at my leg, thinking it was one of the other boys. A few moments later, I would feel it again, and then again a few moments after that. Finally, I looked down to give what I assumed was Loki some affection. However, I looked down and no one was there. I looked around the room thinking maybe he had walked away, but had found the 2 boys sleeping soundly on the bed behind me. At first I thought it may have been the wind, or maybe a fly. Something that could be the explanation, but over the years since Mo's passing, I have felt the same feeling when at the desk. Over the course of several weeks, both Dave and I experienced on dozens of occasions strange occurrences. We would feel a cat jumping up on the bed at night, but to see no one there. I would feel the sensation of a cat wrapped around my head in the morning when I wake up, which was Mo's normal sleeping spot, but would soon realize I would be in bed alone. We would watch Loki interact with something we couldn't see or meow to a corner that was empty. The experiences were so frequent, I started talking about them to people at work. One day, I was in the back room with my coworker as we were packing up returns and were just talking about normal life things. As I was scanning the items, I kept seeing a shadow over me as if something was blocking out the light. I would stop and look up at the shelf above me several times before my coworker asked what I was doing. I explained that I was seeing a shadow, and we both joked that maybe it was a ghost. This had gone on for some time, and eventually I had to go back out on the sales floor, and very shortly afterwards, my coworker runs out onto the sales floor behind me. He looked extremely pale, and I asked what was wrong. "I think your cat is here," he said. "Why do you think that?" I said. He then explained that right after I got up from my spot, a bin of products, which was soundly on the shelf, had fallen down. It looked like something had jumped off it. I thought he was joking, but later we would look at the video footage, and I would see the exact same thing. The hours that we worked back there, I would complain about the shadow over my workspace, only for the bin to fall very strangely to the floor seconds after I leave. Over the past few years, activities has been pretty consistent. The usual sensations of a cat jumping on the bed or pawing at my leg, but to never see a cat there. Mo's favorite toy is often found in the middle of the room, which very much could be Loki, but You would think after 8 years, the toy would start to show some signs of wear if it was a cat playing with it. Just a few days ago, there was another weird occurrence. Sorry if this is too much information, but I was sitting on the toilet in the bathroom. Like many cat moms, I am not able to use the restroom in peace. Oliver walks in, who is our newest addition to those who haven't met our cats yet. He looks behind the toilet, behind the trash can, and gets completely defensive. His tail puffs up, he starts his low growl, and I'm freaking out. I peek behind the toilet expecting to see a mouse, lizard, or something back there, only to see the toilet brush and trash can. I start to finish up and then Loki comes in. Of the 3 cats, Loki has always been the scariest of cats. I see that he sees something too. I'm expecting him to freak out as well, but instead, he starts meowing to whatever it is. Similar to those early days when we first lost Mo. The reaction makes sense. If it was Mo that they saw, Oliver had never met him, and Loki had. I had gotten up to wash my hands, and right when the cats leave the bathroom, the toilet brush, which was behind the toilet, falls forward, as if a large orange cat didn't have enough room to get by. We don't know if we will have Mo's presence forever. Maybe he is waiting for Ziggy, who will turn 23 this month, but we appreciate all the strange moments we have experienced since his passing.